My name is Genevieve Randall, and I'm here to talk to you about the Deutsch in Deutschland program, the summer program in Berlin, which I did in 1994. That seems like a long time ago. I think when you travel to another country like that, it really places you in history. By the Brandenburg Gate, they did a reenactment of the airlift, and they actually used one of the original helicopters from the original airlift. That was pretty incredible to see, especially since there was this older gentleman standing by the gate who started talking to me about how he remembered the original airlift, and that's that when somebody shares a personal story with you, you think you really feel connected to it more than just reading about an incident, because you're looking at this person face to face and you're seeing their emotions and how they feel about it. Seeing the Berlin Wall, that was incredible. Some pieces of it were coming down in '94, but there were still pieces left to see. I got to hear President Clinton speak. That's probably the only time I'm ever going to hear a United States president in person. We toured a concentration camp as part of my study program, which was an emotional experience. When you're standing at a place like that and you're looking at something that is the size of a person that you know was an oven, or you're standing in this barracks, you're there, so you can imagine a person being there. It just makes history come alive in a way that books just can't. So those things are really important to me. Tacheles in Berlin is incredible. It was one of my favorite places to go. My host father, who I lived with, would tease me actually about going to Tacheles so much. And there was a little cafe with the best ice cream and coffee. Oh, so good. Besides that, Berlin itself is such a special city. It's so amazing because of the East and the West having been, again, divided, first of all, and then reunification happening. It just creates a completely different atmosphere. I think of Berlin almost like, even with more so than just East and West, there's little neighborhoods. It's like having a whole bunch of different little towns all squished together into one area. Together, public transportation is incredible in Berlin. That's something to witness. And if the schedule says a bus is going to be there at 2:23, that's when it will be there. It's pretty sweet. As far as language skills, I had taken German 101, and then I went to Berlin, and there's just really nothing like immersion in a language, I have to say. I got to hear dialects. The man at the Brandenburg Gate who was talking to me about the airlift reenactment, he spoke in kind of a Berlin dialect. That was great to hear. I remember a couple of specific times when I would ask someone a question and understand the answer completely, and it was all in German. It was great. It was just such a good feeling. You stop thinking about everything so much. You still have to study. You study the grammar. You study spelling, whatever. But it just flows. It becomes more natural. It would kind of be like, to me, let's say that you just read about driving a car, and then you're trying to explain to someone else what it's like to drive a car, but you haven't actually driven a car. I think that being immersed in a culture and in a language like that is similar to that. I think I'm a more confident person because of my travels to Germany. Really, it's the only foreign country I've ever been to, and I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do much foreign travel had I not done it when I was in school. I understand more even about other languages now, having studied the one language and been in the country and used it, and just to hear everyday speech. I still listen to a podcast now, all these years later, to keep up my German skills, and it's fun. It's fun to think in that language. There's just little different things about culture that you learn. They have door handles in Germany instead of doorknobs. The ice cream is really good. Here's a weird fact. I didn't eat ice cream. I didn't like it before I went to Germany. After I went to Germany, I liked ice cream. German radio was really fun, and now I work in radio, so sometimes I go online and listen to those stations that I heard in Berlin online, and I think about what they're doing and how they say it and how it's different from what I do at my current job at the radio station. And I learned how important a vowel can be. I was asking for a Fanta at a little stand, and he did not understand what I was saying at all until I said Fanta. Not like Nebraska. Fanta, Fanta. My host family, oh my gosh, how could I forget? My host family was great. My host mother was a journalist, and she did yoga. I used to do yoga all the time. My host father was a playwright, directed plays. Their daughter was an artist. I love arts. And their son was a musician. I'm a musician. They loved it when I practiced flute in the house, so that was great. That made me feel good. They really tried making me feel at home by purchasing some ketchup, which is not really a German thing. And they bought cornflakes, which was really hilarious because honestly, I never ate cornflakes growing up as a kid. And so in Germany was really the first place that I ate cornflakes, and I just thought it was so sweet. On the 4th of July, they baked muffins, which apparently is an American thing. We make muffins in the United States. They don't do that there. When I got home from school, from my classes on the 4th of July, house, my host mother and her daughter were all excited. My host father was out of town that night or something. I don't remember. They're like, oh, come here, let's go eat on the balcony. It was like really special to get to eat on the balcony. And they had this tablecloth over this table, and they had tea made, and they were all excited. You could tell they were just buzzing about something. And they bring out this tray of muffins and set the muffins down. And there was a little candle in top, and they sang happy birthday for the 4th of July. Happy birthday to the United States, I guess. I cried. It was so sweet. You know, I would really like to see the new Potsdamer Platz. When I was there was nothing there. They had just opened the train station. It had been caught in the no man's land between where the wall stood. Um, yeah. In fact, I have photos. I wonder if I can show you photos. That is me in front of the Berliner Dome. Fantastic cathedral. Which way this goes? There's the wall. And there were two of my teachers, Mark and Joe. They're standing in Potsdamer Platz. You can see there's just like nothing. There's some buildings even far off in the distance, and there's just sand around. This is what you saw when you got out of the subway station. It's pretty weird. Here's some really cute pictures of some of the other students I was there with. I hope they don't mind that I'm... Whoops. Cute one in umbrellas. And in Dresden. In short, I hope that the Deutsch in Deutschland program continues through UNL. I use my German skills for pronunciation. Some of my colleagues have studied Spanish, and they can pronounce the Italian composers and the obviously Spanish or Mexican composers pretty well. There's one guy there who knows French, but I'm the only one with German knowledge, so I get to fill in that little spot at radio, at my job at NET Radio. Even when I hear news now about any place in Germany, including Berlin, I feel more connected to it, I think, probably because I was there. So I love Berlin, and oh, I want to leave you with this. I still have this can that I brought back from, we went to Rostock, and then we went up to Warnemünde and went to the beach. And the Germans love to mix beverages. So this is from my can of Mezzo Mix, and it says on the label there, down here, it says, koffeinhaltige Limonade mit feinem Orangengeschmack. Well, yeah, I screwed up my last word there, but yeah, it was like a weird mix of like lemonade, Coke, and orange soda, and I loved it. It was great. Zutaten means ingredients. I hope that this convinces you how important the Deutsch in Deutschland program is to students at UNL. Thanks. Tschüss.